see everybody here again another year. I wanted to thank Larry for a great introduction. He's been a wonderful chairman, and I think we've really benefited from asking our chairs to serve for a 2-year period, as I think it gets everyone a little more comfortable with what AMATS does, because it isn't exactly like the easiest thing, I think, for someone to step into, especially for a leadership role. As usual, I want to thank our sponsors, American Structure Point, City Architecture, DLZ, EDG, Envision, GPD, Manick & Smith Group, MS Consultants, and OHM. Our region's consultants are so important to the work that we do for our transportation planning process, and we really appreciate their support today. So, let's get started. Life comes at you pretty fast. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The Guardians are cheap, they can't hit. Ohio State is winning, the Browns is the Browns. And it feels like just yesterday I was standing up here giving my stump speech for write-in candidate to the U.S. presidency. Obviously I didn't make it, so I stuck it here at AMATS. But like everybody else, we've had a really, really busy year. Lots of changes with the new administration, lots of time spent ensuring we deliver a program, writing plans, we had to get certified by Federal Highway. So when it comes to the annual meeting this year, I was feeling a little flat-footed. I didn't really know if I had the energy to carry this on. So I was thinking to myself, I need to get creative. I need to think of a new way to do this. And so I read about this thing that was called AI. And I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's artificial intelligence. And it's supposed to be very smart. It's going to revolutionize everything we do. And so I thought, well, hell, maybe I'll just have it do my presentation for me. So my AI chatbot friend and I started a discussion, and I said, I'm giving this presentation. And it said, hey, you should start the meeting off with a joke. And I said, well, that's great, because I like jokes. And so it said, can I suggest one to you? And I said, sure, give me a joke. So my AI chatbot friend says, why don't buses ever get lonely? Because they always have plenty of stops along the way. And I thought, well, that's not very funny, right? I don't get it. So either I'm dumb or ChatGPT is dumb. So I said, hey, give me another one. Let's try another one, right? So, okay, transportation planners have a tough job. We always want things to move smoothly, but somehow it's the coffee line that has the best flow. Like, what the hell does that mean? I think I could do better myself. So I thought, maybe this isn't such a great idea. So humor is not my chatbot's thing. That's okay. We can move on from that. I said, let's try something of substance. So I said, I know the question on everybody's mind, it's on my mind, is will MPOs get more funding in the next transportation authorization? And my chatbot responded, it is uncertain. And so I told my chatbot that it was unhelpful. And so I said, okay, I'll step in on this one. So there is a constant push and pull between states and regions for these gas tax dollars. And the reality is that the highway authorization is expiring in September of next year. It's really tough for us to know what to expect right now because of what's going on. I don't know if you've also heard the federal government's in a shutdown right now. Hopefully that won't be the case by next September, but the reality is that there's probably more unknowns going into this next highway authorization than there has been, at least in my career. So I would give my chatbot some credit there. It is uncertain, but the description was leaving a little to be desired. So then I thought I should really get to know my chatbot a little bit better, because I'm going to ask him to write this speech. I need to know what his perceptions are, her perceptions are about us and the work that we do. So I asked it, I said, show me a transportation planner's perfect street, render it for me. Just give me what you can. And this is what he gave me. And I thought, well, that's kind of nice. It's sunny out. It's, we've got bike lanes and travel lanes and a bus lane. But then I started looking at it and I'm like, well, wait, the bikers are going in both directions. And then there's a woman that she's either waiting for a bus or she's about to get hit by it. And so I thought, this is a little strange. You know, I mean, kudos for getting close, right? If we all just looked at it, closed our eyes, moved on, it might be okay. So then I couldn't let it lie, because I really needed to get a little bit deeper with my bot. And so I said, well, this is a question I always want to know as a transportation planner. It's like, what does a traffic engineer's perfect street like? And this is what it showed me. So I thought to myself, well, where was the humor before, right? I mean, finally, I got some jokes. But two, what does this say about traffic engineers? Like, you guys want to live in a post-apocalyptic urban hellscape. Like, good for you. So then I was like, there has to be more of this. So I thought, okay, the positive spin on this is that engineers, they want to fix things, right? So your idea of a perfect street is a street that can be fixed. Okay, there, that's how I cleaned it up. I covered it up for ChatGPT. I don't know though, personally, I do think you guys are master. So, but I think what's interesting is that, you know, I haven't been overly impressed with my chatbot friend, but I think what's fascinating now is that it is something that we are getting exposed to in like every aspect of our daily life. Anytime you get online, or anytime you're even reading about companies and all this stuff, we have so much access to information, more so than we've ever had. And the reality is, not always is it good or accurate, but there's a heck of a lot of it, right? And let's be honest, sometimes when someone tells us that they researched something, we know that doesn't mean that they went to the source documents at the Library of Congress, or they read a scientific white paper on you know, whatever they're looking into and looking at sample sizes. What they mean is they Googled. And so I conducted a little experiment because I was very curious about asking Google the same thing from different perspectives. And so I just decided, what is a topic that is so controversial that just by saying the word, it gets people emotional? And that word is roundabouts. So I just asked the question, why are roundabouts safe, right? A very leading question. And I got a great answer. They eliminate high-speed right-angle crashes, they lower vehicle speeds, they offer continuous traffic flow, and then on the side, you guys can't read in the back, but it references federal highway, a state DOT, a local government. But at the same time, we can also do this in reverse, right? We can say, why are roundabouts dangerous? And we get a very interesting answer. It says, well, roundabouts are statistically safer, but they present unique dangers due to driver error, complexity, and risks to pedestrians and cyclists. And then the websites on the side that are referenced are two law firms. One is the Big Auto Accident Attorneys, bigauto.com, that's a self-plug. But I think the reality is that whatever people want to find, if you want to believe something, like if you want to believe that coffee is good for you, and you type it into Google, it's going to tell you coffee's good for you. If you want to believe that coffee's bad for you, you type it into Google, it'll tell you that coffee's bad for you. And I think the reality is that what I found out is there's actually a term for this, and it's called AI sycophancy. And the reality is what the geniuses in the West Coast have done is they want you to like your chatbot. So the chatbot is basically going to tell you whatever the hell it is that you want to hear. So, and I think we have to think about this as we are in the public realm and we're dealing with members of the public, right? They are going to search. If they don't like roundabouts, they're not going to search why are roundabouts safe. They're going to search why are roundabouts dangerous. And they are going to get a list of information that's going to absolutely affirm what it is that they believe. So for us, as members of the institutions of government, we have to be aware that that's coming. So we can be armed with all of the data. We can be armed with engineering opinions, planning opinions, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that where people are coming from is a place where they've already been affirmed in what they believe. And that makes it way more challenging than I think it ever has been. And that's probably why a lot of us in our careers sometimes feel a little frustrated sometimes. And for those of you that don't know, that's Stuart Smalley, good enough and smart enough and doggone it people like me. This guy actually became a U.S. Senator, so I guess it worked for him. Al Franken. So last year, I let everybody know that the AMATS website was an award-winning website. And this year it actually won 2 more awards. So it brings us up to a 3-time award-winning website. Really pleased with staff and the work of Triad, who helped us build the site. But it did lead me to think about another tool for AI that I was really excited about. So I thought, if it can't write my presentation, one of the biggest issues we have with the AMATS website, and I know everyone goes through this with the website, is this debate about, do I want my face on the website, right? I know mayors, you all have to have headshots, right? And you took one when you first started, and it still looks pretty good. You're youthful, brown hair, reasonably looking, okay. And so we get to this new website, and Heather says, we need new pictures. I'm like, I don't want to take a new picture. Like, I don't even want pictures. Like, let's just get them up. So, okay. So I thought, wait a second. Instead of taking a picture, what if I asked AI to just appropriately age me to the future? And so but then I got greedy, right? Then I was like, with celebrity-like plastic surgery, I don't just want to age, I want to age well, right? We all do. And so this is what it gave me. I was like, damn, like, I should be the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Like, that's how good I am. I mean, come on. My wife saw this and was like, can we just fast forward? So, I mean, I was really considering just putting this up on the website. I mean, so I just, when I am gone for 3 weeks because I flew to Turkey for hair plugs, you will all know the reason why. It's because this is what I'm shooting for. Right? So, I mean, it's like AI is good for something, right? And so then I thought, well, I can't just hog this all myself, right? Like, it wouldn't be fair to just say, like, I'm going to get the glow up, and nobody else on staff can get the glow up. So I thought, you know what? I'll do the same thing for Matt. I'll say, let's age Matt with celebrity-like plastic surgery. And lo and behold, he got everything. I'm like, damn, this AI stuff is good. I mean, all right, so AI is like a box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're going to get. And it's, unfortunately, I will say in all honest truth, the most that we've done with AI from our perspective is just done it for stupid things like this. So, and sometimes my daughter's honors bio homework, but that's where I draw the line. So anyway, let's talk about some projects. These are projects that we're excited about. They're either recently completed or they're going to be, they're underway right now. I do want to say that before I get too deep in the projects, and I know some of you probably heard it in the earlier discussion, our esteemed ODOT District 4 Deputy Director, Jerry Moreau, could not be here tonight, or this afternoon or morning. He's in Florida, and he decided that was more important than the AMATS annual meeting. And when I found out about this, I was heartbroken because I was like, Jerry, that's my content, is making fun of you. And he said, I know, but do it anyway, and I'll be laughing from Florida. So, just so you know, this isn't mean-spirited. I'm not doing it behind his back. But he also doesn't know what I'm going to say either. So, the Beltway is done. ODOT held a ribbon cutting for this back in August. And all sorts of partners were invited to be a part of this ribbon cutting. Somehow I didn't get an invitation. I wasn't included. But I heard about it at the last minute that morning. So if you look really closely in the trees, I was trying to figure out what was going on because I wasn't invited. Now, and it's a good thing I was there because driving through here, I would have never known that project was done, right? Orange barrels everywhere, sound walls aren't up, but hey, the ribbon's cut. So that, we're excited about this. The Beltway's done. It just doesn't feel like it, right? So another really interesting thing about the Beltway that I thought was kind of interesting was that, and I saw this the minute they delivered this bridge. It is sitting on the side of the highway. I'm driving by, I'm thinking, why do we have the Ohio State Buckeye Bridge in Akron? I mean, it's like, it's not just red. It's like red, scarlet, and gray, and, I thought, this seems really strange because it's so close to the University of Akron. And then I was watching the Ohio State game Saturday, and I'm looking at the stands, and all of a sudden, I see this person. And all of a sudden, I was like, I know who Big Nut is. It's sharing the road. He thinks that he can paint his face and we're not going to know that that's him? Like, so it all makes sense. Like, that's why we have an Ohio State branded bridge and beltway in Akron. Also, State Route 8 Bridge is all of you, I think, that come from the north or leave from going north from Akron, is getting closer and closer. It's actually made a ton of progress since this picture was taken, also I believe in August. We'll pretty soon, it looks like we'll be driving on one of those new bridges every day as we go into town. And I don't know, is the ribbon cutting soon? Pretty soon, right? Next week or so? So really exciting about this. I'm sure my invitation is in the mail. But moving on, East Exchange Street in Akron was completed. This is a complete street reconstruction, over $11 million. It serves as the town and gown connection between the city of Akron and the University of Akron. City of Stowe, Darrow Road, all the way through the city is a major reconstruction, minor bridge work, curb ramps, sidewalks, and traffic signals. Price tag of about $14 million. New Metro RTA bus garage is currently being constructed. It'll be opening, I've been told, very soon. It was a over almost $61 million bus garage funded primarily through an FTA grant. This will support Metro's bus fleet as well as maintenance and support staff. Looks pretty cool. Also, the $3.5 million Freedom Trail Portage Hike and Bike Connector has been completed. We've been talking about this project, it seems like forever. Really excited to see it operational and underway, a bridge. Some switchbacks for, it's like a serpentine switchback because of the grading there, but it works really well and is much safer than it used to be. We also recently funded Ravenna Road resurfacing in Twinsburg Township. AMATS focuses so much of its work on preservation, and we work hard to ensure that the resurfacings are programmed in a timely manner. And we just looked up the AMATS pavement condition ratings. You know, since 2023, our pavement condition ratings have gone up from 66 as a region to a 68. So I think the investment that we're doing in our federal system is making a difference. We're slowly getting our pavements better. And I think that's thanks to our resurfacing program and the investment that we have in it. So AMATS also completes the long-range transportation plan, Transportation Outlook 2050. We approved it in May. The flying cars, the hoverboards, they didn't make it in this version, but we do reserve the right to update it if that changes. These plans are always Herculean efforts, and Matt and the rest of the AMATS staff, I know, worked very hard to get this approved, so we're excited about it. So, and finally, AMATS has a new round of funding that's open. Come and get in line. We have about $25 million available. For our job, it's never fun to have to say no soup for you, which is a Seinfeld reference. I know these are getting older. I feel like as the age of the crowd gets younger, I don't even know if anybody knows who the soup Nazi is. But the idea is that you know, we want you to apply. We've got a lot of great, I think, great potential to invest in a lot of really good projects, and so we're excited and encouraging our communities to apply and get some funding for your project. So, to conclude, while pumpkin spice lattes, sweaters, wide brimmed hats, and pumpkin patches are the most popular fall trends, I'd like to think that for everyone in this room, the AMATS annual meeting also fits that bill. And I think that while my point today is sort of like, while these new technologies that we have, I think sometimes they feel like they're isolating us, or we're losing touch with the real world, or it almost feels like cheating. We're not allowed to put in the hard work anymore. I think events like this are so important for all of us because it reminds us the importance and the power of the human connection, the power of shared learning, and the power of laughter and having a good time and being in a fellowship with our colleagues. So with that, I really hope you all enjoy today's group of presentations, enjoy lunch, and then enjoy the beautiful fall day and the long weekend. So thank you very much, and have a great day.